The NBA is past its halfway point, and because of that, all eyes are on the playoffs. There are many teams in contention, and many more that can rise up to the challenge for the title.
Okay. Nice! Yes!
Not the least of which is because of the players and the special signature moves that they have that can elevate their teams. Throughout NBA history, many players have made their own special moves, and these plays made history, as well as made them very feared on the court. But which ones stand out the most? Allow us to show you the 9 greatest signature moves in NBA history. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. 9. Magic and Larry's pass game. In the 1980s, the NBA was not the powerhouse that it is right now. In fact, it was dying, and many people wondered if it would ever be truly relevant. The arrival of 2 key legendary players literally changed the game for the better. Larry Bird and Arvin Magic Johnson. The two had already clashed against each other in the game that is revered as the point where March went mad, and when they went to the Boston Celtics and Los Angeles Lakers respectively, it was immediately clear that these two were going to be legends. But the moves that really helped set them apart was their passing games. Granted, both were phenomenal shooters, no doubt about that, but if you watch old footage, you'll see that both Magic and Bird had phenomenal passes that only they could pull off. Both of them were famous for their no-look passes, in which they would dump a ball in a direction and somehow their teammates would be there to pick it up. Magic knew how to get the ball down court with incredible speed, including at running speeds at times. Meanwhile, Larry would just be able to pass the ball, even when in transition, and could just feel when his teammates were there and get it to him. Their clashes in the NBA Finals were the stuff of legend, and they are the reason why the NBA became what it was, so that men like Michael Jordan could help bring the game to an even greater level. 8. Dirk Nowitzki's lean. There have been many stigmas about players and player types in the NBA, and one of the biggest ones is that European players will never be as good as US players, which has been proven emphatically wrong via players like Giannis Antetokounmpo, and of course by the future Hall of Famer from the Dallas Mavericks, Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk was a key part of the Mavericks right up to the retirement, and his skills with the ball are undeniable, as is his trademark lean that he would do to help line up his shot. Plus, as many players have noted, it's not exactly the easiest shot to guard, because usually when you shoot, you're perfectly vertical, but with Dirk leaning back, it adds another dimension to the shot, and that's hard to block. Dirk's 7-foot frame led him to being a force in the NBA in all of the ways that matter, including leading the Mavericks to the NBA Finals multiple times, and beating the Miami Heat in an upset victory to help further cement his legendary status. To many, Dirk didn't seem like the kind of player to stand out, but he stood out with every shot he took. And now, Luka Doncic is on the Mavericks and is continuing to prove that European players absolutely know how to ball. 7. Kevin Durant's Hisey Jimbo. Yes, that really is the name of the move that Kevin Durant does, and it's in fact one of his signature moves that helped make him one of the most dominant players in the NBA today, and in history. In short, this move is a hesitation jumper that allows him to get a distance from his opponent, as well as uncanny accuracy to make that shot that is needed. It's part of the reason that he's so hard to guard and so dominant a scorer. His career has had many highs and few lows, including losing the NBA Finals to the Heat after starting out with a Game 1 win, but then going to the Golden State Warriors and winning 2 titles on that end of the court, and now he's with the Nets and hoping to work hard with Kyrie Irving and James Harden in order to get that 3rd title. Whoever is guarding him is going to be frustrated when he pulls out that Hisey Jimbo as the playoffs roll around. 6. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's Skyhook. In the NBA, rarely is a move known for its true beauty in terms of how it looks when it's made and when it goes in. That's a perfect description for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and his legendary Skyhook. This shot was a thing of beauty, and something that only someone of Kareem's frame, which was also over 7 foot, could do. It was poetry in motion, and because of how tall Kareem was, and how he both framed the shot and elevated the ball, blocking it was literally impossible. Granted, it didn't always go in, but it seemed like it, especially when it was in the playoffs or the NBA Finals. The move was so legendary that even Magic Johnson did it once to win the game for the Lakers. But while the movement was pure magic, the shot will always be Kareem's. 5. Manu Ginobili and the Euro Step. Let's talk about Manu Ginobili, aka the greatest 6th man to ever exist, and the man who helped the San Antonio Spurs win multiple titles. To be fair, when he came into the league, not many people expected much from him, mainly because of his size and the lack of an opposing figure. Ginobili Lee countered that though through incredible speed and body control. So much so that he basically created a move called the Euro Step, where he would drive into the paint and then change things up just enough so he could get a clean shot and get the basket. He was so good at it that people truly and well didn't know how he was pulling this off. This is part of the reason why the Spurs were dominant with him coming off the bench. And after he introduced this move, a lot of people copied it and put it in their arsenals, including many big name players today like LeBron James. 4. Shaq's Black Tornado. Shaq is one of the greatest to ever play the game, despite slowing down a bit in his later years and having an infamous feud with Kobe. But more than anything, it's his early years with the Orlando Magic and the Los Angeles Lakers. He was a machine in the paint, and his dunks were legendary and legendary powerful, including his signature Black Tornado move. He did an inverted jab step with his outside leg, putting his weight into the defender, and then used his ridiculous agility to spin towards the basket and humiliate the defender with an emphatic exclamation point. Shaq used this move to great effort throughout his career, and everyone feared him when he was in this position for a dunk, probably because they remember when he shattered the bunk board with a dunk. 3. Tim Duncan's bank shots. There are many ways for a basketball to go and get into that net, but for Tim Duncan of the Spurs, he went to a more basic kind of shot more times than not to great effect, the bank shot. Yeah, he was never afraid to have the backboard help him, and he would even trick his opponents to give him some space so he could do easy layups or great bank shots that would guarantee him points. You may not think it would work in this time in the NBA, but Duncan won 5 titles with the Spurs, and though his shots may not have been flashy at times, they worked. 2. AI's crossover. Allen Iverson is one of the best players to never win a title, and one of the reasons for this is his crossover was a thing of beauty. It was so good that it broke the ankles of absolute bosses in the NBA, including one of his most famous, where he did it on Kobe Bryant, and Kobe totally fell for it. Kobe Bryant. That first year in the NBA was huge for Iverson, despite losing in the finals, and his career was solid, and you can watch a montage of him getting the crossover done to great effect and never feel bored. 1. Steph Curry's three-pointers. Ending with a future Hall of Famer from the current NBA, Steph Curry is easily one of the best players ever, and some even say he's the best pure shooter ever. But the thing that makes people's jaws drop is when Curry hits absolutely insane three-pointers from way beyond the arc. Granted, he's good at shooting threes just about anywhere, like many other NBA players, but few do it so consistently behind the arc like Curry, and make it look like he was planning it the whole time. In fact, he was so accurate with his three-pointers that a video game that updated itself every week to match NBA stats broke because it couldn't fathom how accurate Steph Curry was in his threes. Yes, he broke a computer. That's skill. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the players who defined the NBA via the moves that they had? Which of these signature moves do you love to watch over and over again? Which ones do you feel truly changed the NBA when they were debuted? Do you know of another signature move that should be on this list? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.